What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting these possibilities for you to consider, enabling you to come up with your own conclusions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Scripted Reality. We are up to number 35. This is a very special one for me. I was born on the 35th day of the year, February 4th. We have a lot going on in this image. This is going to be the highlight of Hotel California. If you like the song by the Eagles, you're really going to appreciate this presentation. We have a lot going on in this, these scenes going on here. We have, over to the left, we have war, maybe a homeless man on the street, someone on their cell phone, an elderly person, a happy couple, a child. What has that got to do with Hotel California? And why Scripted Reality number 35? Well, because the word simulation equals 35. What does it mean to live in a simulation? Well, to me, the simulation is the movie. That's right, we're inside of a movie. It's like God pressed play and it's watching the simulation. See, I'm a determinist, meaning I believe in predestination. Well, not even believe, I know that that's what we live in. The simulation is the predestination. Your destiny is unchangeable. You can't change it. We live in a scripted reality. So this one's very, very interesting with the 35. Of course, this reduces down. The root of this is the number 8. We have 8 known blood types. 8 is the infinity symbol. 8 is the double helix. 8 is the prison. Can attach so many things to the number 8. The letter Chet in Hebrew, which is the courtyard, the DNA. So let's jump into this. This is going to be the highlight for this presentation. So if you're a fan of this amazing song, probably one of the greatest songs ever, 1976, 5 band members, Hotel California. It's going to be the highlight for this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, this one. I've done this through Decodes, not directly, but we've done this. Right off the bat, we're going to go to the most amazing numerology cipher there is, Chaldean, once again coming through to show the narration of this scripted reality. You could see that what does Hotel California mean? Well, it's spirit incarnating into matter, and it becomes you. And now you're playing out your role in your movie. This reality is all about your movie, not mine, not anybody else's. It's all about you. You're the star of the show. Spirit into matter. Spirit is the 19. We know the 19th card in the tarot is the sun. That's the sun becoming. Matter is 20. Birthday is 20. Matter is 20. Duality is 20. 20 is calcium on the periodic table. Spirit into matter. Hotel California. And then we have lights, camera, action. All 56s. 56 is tied to barium on the periodic table. So Hotel California, tied to the simulation, is tied to the movie. That's what you're playing out. You're playing the part of an actor or an actress. And you're being watched. Always. Till the day you die. Well, what's operating this reality? And this is not my final answer, by the way, because we bring theology into this. And I'm bringing theology into this because it connects directly to this presentation. I go to Judaism, and the God of the Bible, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, the numerology of that is 26, and 26, the bridge of that is chemistry. The 26th element is iron. That's why you have the Iron Dome in Israel. The Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh coming out during the Iron Age, probably. It's a Mars energy, war. It's a lot of killing going on in the Old Testament. It's a lot of killing going on in this reality. And there's iron in our blood. See the 56 there? This is the most abundant isotope of iron. 26 protons. The isotope is 56. Okay. So Hotel California, the song itself, I went right to the band on YouTube. Their official audio, and I have it magnified there. There's the timestamp. Can this be scripted? You know how I like to do the timestamps. 6 minutes and 31 seconds for the official video for Hotel California. Might even be 6 minutes and 32 seconds before you click on it. But anyway, when you say 613, speak those spells, you get 47, which is scripted reality. If you've been paying attention in Revelation 3 verses 16, this is where Jesus says, hey, if you're not going to play, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. That's because Jesus is the Hotel California, keeping you here as a prisoner. People are in love with their captor, though. Talked about this. Stockholm Syndrome. 47, ladies and gentlemen. We just continue on in theology. It's so beautiful. See, the fruit that Eve ate and gave to Adam, which caused the fall, is scripted as well. This is Pyre. I think that's how you say that. And that's 47. And the 47th element, to give us another layer to narrate this, is silver. And silver is Hollywood when you're on the silver screen. Again, you're in a movie. Silver. And then the 47th card, which is my birth card. I was born on the 35th day of the year. This is scripted reality 35, is the 8 of spades. 8 known blood types. 8 is the torus field. 8 is the DNA. And the tarot card to get the image is now you're trapped. This is why Hotel California says you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. See, there's merit to this. I can't say that it's absolute, but it's clear that this defines it as such. Trapped and limited card. Trapped on the soul. Are we this right here brings support and strong evidence of the soul trap theory. This does. So we can't rule it out. Let's go further with the timestamp, and we're going to go to chemistry now, like I've done so many times with songs and movies. So we have that 6 minute and 31 second, the total song length off of their official audio. And 6 is carbon. We are made up of about 20% carbon. And then 31 is tied to gallium, 6 and 31. Well, they have the isotope 12 and 69, the most abundant. We just add those up, we get 81. I knew what this was because we've been doing this for a while. It's tied to Jesus. This was off of the penis chromosome, because sex is what keeps this game going, keeps the Hotel California going. Jesus Christos in the Greek from the original modern Greek cipher is 205. That is the isotope for 81 thallium. Remember, thallium comes from Neptunium, and Neptune is the god that rules this earth because it's the god of water. And thallium comes from Thallo, which is the Greek goddess of springtime, basically. It's new. This is a brand new shoot coming through the soil. This is like a new baby coming. When a baby is born, a new player emerges on the board. You can go read about this. We did this already in the previous decode. So let's now get into Hotel California, the release of it. It came out on February 22nd, the single. Here it is. And then the album came out. I'm going to be showing that a little bit later on December 8th. 22, we know, is tied to the word recycle. I'm just going to go to numerology, and I'm going to type in this word right here. Recycle. See, it is Chaldean right there. Recycle. Recycle. Did they do that on purpose? I mean, it fits the narrative, right? Hotel California, you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. That's recycling. Well, here are the two playing cards to give us a deeper layer. As we often do here at Decode Your Reality, we have the 10 of clubs for the album coming out. And then we have, for the single, the 3 of diamonds. We're using this chart right here. February 22nd is the 3 of diamonds. December 8th, 10 of clubs. I'm going to be talking more about that in a little bit. Here are the tarot cards. To get the narration again, the album comes out with the 10 of wands. This is the card of toiling. This, again, fits the narrative strongly with being stuck in this Hotel California. This is toiling. A lot of burden and responsibility. Do we not all have that? We have pain and suffering and bliss and beauty, but it's pain and pleasure in this reality. We live in hell. We live in Tartarus, the prison. And then the single came out on February 22nd. That's going to be the 222 in the Gregorian. And that's the architect. See, we become architects here. 3 of diamonds is the architect. That's what we all are. We're builders. 3 of diamonds. 3 means expansion. And diamonds mean physicality. We expand physicality. It's exactly how these tarot cards line up. And what about the composite card for the release single and then the album itself? Well, all you have to do is add up 29 and 23, and you're going to get 52. The last card in the cosmic playing cards, the King of Spades, the king in the crown line. And that's the 52nd card, and the 52nd element is tellurium, which means earth. So this album comes out on December 8th, and it has a single on February 22nd. The 2 cards compositely add up to 52, which is tellurium. And what's fascinating about this is over here, Satan. See, this gives merit to Satan being the god of the world. But of course, Satan in Job chapter 1 is an agent of God. So it's just a worker of God. That's all it is. But people end up adding to it later on in the New Testament. You go back to the origination, Satan in Job is an agent working for God. An extension. I just say it's just one and the same. 52. And then 52, if we just go here and we type in this right here, you're going to see this. Got a whole series on that. Prison Planet is 52. See? Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So let's get into the lyrics. Talk about the lyrics now. Some of the lyrics of the song. I've picked a few of them. Here's one of the lines. We are all just prisoners here of our own device. That's a 165. And we just use chemistry to bridge the gap. And that's the 67th element, holmium. Ho, 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 that's Santa. This is hydrogen and oxygen, the alpha and omega from Genesis 1 verses 8 and Revelation 1 verses 8. And it connects to Genesis 2 verses 4, the Yod Elohim. We are all just prisoners here of our own device. 165. And we go back to the release of the single. to tie this together, it's the 67th card in the tarot. Remember, this is the card of the architect. We're the builders. Well, it's the Yod Elohim. We're all just prisoners here of our own device. We're builders of our own device. Here's another aspect of the lyrics. This is a big one. This is a big one. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. But they just can't kill the beast. 92. What does this mean? Well, it's from the Old Testament. It's called everlasting contempt. What this is alluding to is Daniel 12 verses 2. This is the scripture that supports the tree of life and tree of knowledge, as well as reincarnation. This is the resurrection. And what it clearly says is people are going to wake up, and some shall awake to life everlasting, and some to everlasting contempt. See, it doesn't say they have a choice. No, this is predestination. Those who sleep shall awake, some to life everlasting, some to everlasting contempt. The everlasting contempt is the beast. You can't stop it. This is going to be the sun and the moon. That's what this means. I'm going to be showing this in another decode. Everlasting life is you work for the sun. Everlasting contempt is you work for the moon. Final answer. Well, what keeps it going is the moon and the everlasting contempt, because the moon reflects the sun and the energy back to the sun by way of us. That's what that means. 42 is going to be tied to the number 40, which is going to be zirconium. So here's another one right here. Here's the big one, right? You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. 182. Go to chemistry. It's all about the chemistry, man. This big one is tungsten. The big W. 74. If you watched my Superstar Part 2 or Part 3, I think I showed the big W off of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, tied to the sun. Well, it has 74 protons. And why this has a lot of merit is because the 5 elements that make up DNA, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus, the molar mass of these 5 add up to 74. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave is tied to 182 tungsten, and 74 is the total molar mass of the 5 elements that make up RNA and DNA. Do you see how tightly woven this is? So it really kind of brings some huge amount of credibility to this song, and it's speaking its truth. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not going to leave. I leave it up to you on what it is that you adopt as your truth. I'm merely just channeling this information to tell you the operating system of this reality. That's it. All right, let's get into the next topic now. The hotel. Could this be scripted? Oh my God, this is the gem of the decode. If you're ready to have your mind blown, because again, when I show you this information, I want you to have in the back of your mind, how could man get it to come out this way? Maybe it's the Masons or Jesuits that's behind doing this. Yeah, they're completely putting the addresses together, and they're making sure these people put the locations together the right way and the way they release these things. Yeah, they're in control of it all. The Beverly Hills Hotel, located on Sunset Boulevard. I've been here many times. Used to live in Los Angeles. Amazing place. Well, we take a look at the astrology. It opened on May 12th, 1912. And we got a lot going on here. And this is a team effort. So you could literally dissect every single celestial placement. But the one that stood out in particular, going to the Astro-Alchemical Cosmic Code chart, this is the human design with an upgrade because we're using true sidereal, not tropical. We're using true sidereal, and we're putting in, on top of the gates, we're putting in the elements on the periodic table. And this adds a magnificent layer to all of this. You can learn this, by the way, if you go to the Spotlight website, and this is part of the course that you can take. But anyway, the sun. The sun on May 12th just came inside the sign of Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is spirit into matter. But the important thing to look at is what gate it's in. It's in gate 42. And it's called the gate of growth. That's what the gate 42 is. Think about it. Hotel California, spirit into matter. Remember, lights, camera, action, spirit into matter. These all linked to the 56, tied to Hotel California. And it's in the 42nd gate called the gate of growth. And this is the element molybdenum, which means lead. This is the sun, spirit into matter. And it's tied to life, the universe, everything. 42. Yeah. So life, the universe, everything ends up becoming tied to astrologically to the opening of the Beverly Hills Hotel by way of the Astro-Alchemical Cosmic Codes. This is fascinating. Scripted reality, folks. This governs the so below. You got to get the precise chart, though, to get the real McCoy on these kinds of things. This is mind-blowing, if you ask me. For me, it is, because I know what it means. And all the other placements on top of that. So here's the album cover, and this is the image of the Beverly Hills Hotel. Now I'm going to blow your mind. And this is, again, how does man get it this way? They don't. Man and woman is being used. That's why we live in predestination. We live in a scripted reality. Here are the coordinates for the Beverly Hills Hotel. 34 degrees north, 118 degrees west. It's the same latitude, longitude of Hollywood. Just remember that. Hollywood. You're in a Hollywood movie. Hollywood, California is 34 and 118. We're in a Hollywood movie. It's called Hotel California. But anyway, this is how scripted the hotel is. See, we go back to theology. The Garden of Eden. Eden is Hollywood. Hollywood is 34 degrees north. Hollywood is Eden, folks. We are inside of a movie. That's what we're in. And what about the longitude? Here's the scripture, by the way. There's Eden. Genesis 2, verses 8, the very first time. What about the longitude? 118 west, the prison. This is why I said that Jesus is the prison. I know people say, no, but he's trying to get you out. No, he wants to give you eternal life, which keeps you stuck in reincarnation. The greatest trap you would never think to look there. Never think to look there. People are in love with their captor. I know it's going to piss some people off. I'm not here to make you happy. And I'm not here to make you like me. I don't care. I'm here to show you what the code says. And the original word in the Greek for Christ is Christos. There are 118 elements. This, by the way, if I go to the periodic table, there are 118 known elements. There are probably more, but what science gives us, 1/8, the last one, the OG. The OG is the Christ, the original gangster. And it's tied to the word Tartarus from Greek. We have to use the ancient Greek because that's what it was released as. Christos is modern Greek. Same thing, 118. The prison, ladies and gentlemen, is the periodic table. We are made up of these elements. 60 of them are essential. You need 60 minerals every day for your body to function right. 60. So this is the prison. That's why it's so valuable in code breaking. So right here, just in the latitude, longitude of Hotel California, of where it was, the album cover, and remember, this is Hollywood, is Eden and Christos and Tartarus, the prison. That's what we're in. You're in a prison. That's why it says you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So we did this one. Got a lot of backlash for this. This and the blood of Christ. People are in love with their captor. So you go back to the timestamp for the song, and now we're going to add up the neutrons, protons, and electrons of carbon and gallium. Remember, the song is 6 minutes and 31 seconds long. So 6 plus 12 plus 31 plus 69, 118. 118. So what is the prison? Christos. Jesus is the prison. Jesus is the Hotel California. Remember, he's the 42nd generation from Matthew. Remember what the 42 was? Jesus is the 42nd generation. From Abraham to David to Jesus, he's number 42. And the Son, which is tied to Christos, is in gate 42 when this hotel opened up, called the Gate of Growth. You think this is well, it's not a big deal. No, this is absolute. This is scripted reality, folks. The Beverly Hills Hotel chosen for the album cover. Eden, Christos, Tartarus, prison. And now this summarizes it and synchronizes it. Well, let's keep going. Beverly Hills Hotel, 210 guest rooms, 23 bungalows. Just add that up. 210 plus 23, 233. What is special about 233? It's the 51st prime number. Prime numbers are standalone numbers. They're like king or queen numbers. And what's 51? Well, the Garden of Eden is 51. See, this is the word garden. It's pi, 3.14. The garden is pi. Pi is the prison. Talked about this for years now. And then Eden is 34, which is the Beverly Hills Hotel, tied to Hotel California, tied to Hollywood that makes movies. You're making a movie. It's your life. Your life is the Hollywood movie. Are you seeing this, folks? This is how tightly... This is a scripted reality, man. I mean, do they know this? Do they do this on purpose? You'd have to go in and Margaret Anderson, you go decode her. I'm not doing it all. You guys and gals can go do it yourself. Margaret Anderson and Stanley Anderson, you can go see it, and you'll see that this lady's scripted. The woman who was the original builder of it. Well, how about the guy who was the architect? Elmer. Here's his birthday and his death day. His birth card and his death card. He's born on 29th of April, and he passes on November 14th. 5 of clubs, 6 of clubs. Hotel California. Yeah, okay, we're not living a scripted reality, though. This is all just merely the Masons and Jesuits doing all this. Some secret organization to bedazzle you. No. We live in a scripted reality, folks. Let's keep going. Here's the address of the Beverly Hills Hotel, 9641 Sunset Boulevard. You got to spell it all out. And what do you get? 165. Do you remember what that 165 was tied to? We are all just prisoners here of our own device. The Hotel California, from the original hotel in Beverly Hills, the address, the real physical address, is 165, which ties to 67 holmium, which means hydrogen and oxygen, which is the air we breathe from the sun, and it's tied to the Yod Elohim in Genesis 2 verses 4. We're all just prisoners here of our own device. The Eagles choosing the Beverly Hills Hotel for the album cover. Yeah, but we're not living in a scripted reality. These people are doing this all on purpose. No way. No way. No, we're living in a simulation. It's called a movie. Even we did the resurrection decoded. In the English, resurrection is 165. 165 is tied to the address of the Beverly Hills Hotel used for the album cover of Hotel California. 165 is we are all just prisoners here of our own device. The resurrection's tied to the Hotel California. You keep resurrecting and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back and reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave because you keep getting resurrected. Now, I'm not going to say this is final answer because I'm looking for the way out. I know a lot of you are as well. The first requisite is crushing all these things. Not following all these rituals and the vampirism and the cannibalism and doing all this nonsense hocus pocus. Let's get into the band. Do you want to see how scripted these guys are? I mean, I've covered this before. Here are the 5 band members. Felder, Henley, Walsh, Fry, and Meisner. You add up their birthdays. And this is how I know we live in a scripted reality, because these guys would have had to plan all this out to get it this way. Their birthdays add up to 77, which just so happens to coincidentally be tied to the numerology of the hotel they chose for the album, the Beverly Hills Hotel. See, and this 77, which is tied to iridium in your eye, which is tied to the double helix, is also tied to the ichthys, which goes back to Jesus again, the fish. The fish, which is tied to the vesica piscis, which is tied to the sign of Pisces, the fisher of men. It's tied to Poseidon, because Poseidon is the ruler of Pisces. Along with Zeus, his brother, the 2 brothers own and operate Pisces. This is a big deal right here. Like, how do you get it like this? I mean, you think these 5 band members are some big conspiracy? They would have to know all this stuff. They're songwriters and musicians. Some of them can do that, but it doesn't matter, folks. We've done so many Pink Floyd. I mean, I've done so many bands. What about the album release? Now I'm going and using the life path. I'm doing the solar life path. December is the 12th month in the Gregorian, but I like to look at the solar because in the Tropic of Cancer, March is the first month. Springtime. Not January. January, you're still in winter. December is the 10th month. So when you do this numerology, you're going to get 113. Again, Hotel California, the album comes out. It has a numerology of 113. What is this tied to? This. I covered this in Everything Happens for a Reason. Everything happens for a reason because we're living in a scripted reality. We're living in Hotel California. And 113 is the 30th prime number, and role play is 30. See, you think these guys had a choice? No, they're being role played. What the role they got is they're musicians, they're artists. The role you got is what you got. You can't change it. You got to surrender to it and become the best at it. That's what you got to do. And we went even further and we tied in the value of chemistry again. The 113th element is nihonium. It has a big fat red blood cell on it. This is going to be the sun, but the sun becoming. It's a red blood cell. And why I knew that was a red blood cell, because the 8 known blood types, you're going to be one of these, is 286. It's right there, 286. 113. 113 is the 30th prime number. 30 is role play. Everything happens for a reason. You've probably said this in your life. Everything happens for a reason. Just in passing, you say it. It's programmed within you. You've heard it before. You just regurgitate. We all regurgitate it. Well, now you know why. Because you're in Hotel California. You're in a simulation. So the final thing I can show you here for this Scripted Reality 35 are the 2 songs on the single. These came out, in the 70s, so these were 45s. If you remember these, I do. Well, the B-side was Pretty Maids All in a Row. So we just take Hotel California and we add in Pretty Maids All in a Row. And it gives us 122. And I knew what that meant because the 52nd element, tellurium, has several stable isotopes. One of them is 122. I think it's the very first stable isotope that it has. And what's the 52 tied to? Prison Planet. You see this? This is the whole series I got. And I added the 2 thieves to this. It's one of my most talked about, most watched series. Tellurium. This is Earth. Remember, Satan is 52. Is Jesus Satan? I know some people are going to get offended for even saying that. But how could you plan something from a spiritual sense? Like if you're going to map it out and there's something supernatural, how would you do it when no one would ever think to look in that area? Well, put on your thinking caps. Because see, this evidence keeps going. It keeps mounting up and mounting up and mounting up and mounting up. Been doing this a long time. And now we have this one in the books. Scripted Reality 35. We live in a simulation. We live in a prison. You don't get out until you die. Don't know what happens after that. You have to go through pain and suffering. You have to go through your fate and destiny. Just like these guys did. Some people get good codes. Some people get gnarly codes. I can't tell you why that is. All I know is we have over 800 videos here and counting. And my final answer is that we lived through this. Even this is 26. And if I go all the way back up to the beginning of this, Hotel California is 56, which is lights, camera, action, which is tied to the element iron, which is in our blood, and the 26 is prison. Is there a way to escape the prison? Well, the first requisite is you got to become a nihilist. You got to get rid of all these beliefs. You got to stop doing the rituals. If there is a chance, stop doing the rituals. Stop partaking in all that stuff, all that nonsense. There's so many contradictions in the book, in the Bible anyway. So much killing and nasty stuff. But people justify it. It's a book about a prison, man. And Hotel California is tied right to it. So there you go. Scripted Reality 35. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you saw something that I didn't see, leave a comment. We'd love to hear back from you. A lot of you tip me off on things, and it just allows me to go deeper and put out decodes. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.